Welcome back. You're watching our special CXO series, and we're talking about what's uppermost in a CEO's mind when he talks about technology, or is it still technology in these tough times? Ninad, we've got in India a great mix of companies. Some companies are on the cutting edge of technology. In fact, they are the leaders in the pack in their in technology adoption and adapting to technology. But there are others who've not even tested what technology can do. How do you bridge the gap and actually get, as you said, that inflection point of SMEs to come in and start using technology?
So, a global trend in technology adoption in history has proven is banking and finance companies always are the early adapters because of the nature of the industry. And it has happened in India as well. Private banks really embrace technology, and then the other public sector banks. What is not happened very fast here is in terms of, one is government adopting to technology. It's doing it, but looks little reluctantly kind of adapting to it. And again, the non-big guys, the SME guys, I think for them there's still a mystery around technology. They're still, it's not demystified for them, and I think they're still not convinced that the cost is, the benefit outweighs the cost. So these two things have not moved fast enough, and that's why we don't see the train moving as fast as we would like to see.
But cost is a big consideration if you're in the entry level of using technology, because the payback period is a little long drawn and the front up payment is a little high. So how are technology companies helping ease that a little?
So if you ask a CEO, what do you do when a CIO wants an appointment with you?
The fight is always there, right? CEO versus CIO.
He just runs away because the CIO is coming with a bill, of spending more. So, but that apart, I think, yes, technology cost also coming down dramatically as they are. And there are now cloud technologies. Google has come out with some very interesting technologies. What will happen eventually is, now again in India, mobile is technology is something which is going to dramatically alter consumer behavior and impact SMEs seriously. Now these things have to be demystified to these guys, and then they'll start seeing the benefit of revenue versus cost.
In the construction company, we can take a step back and see how does technology really benefit a CEO? I mean, at what levels do you actually see that integration of technology which actually helps you in business?
If you look at last 10-15 year history of construction industry, then there were the years of phenomenal growth. Suddenly small companies have become mid-sized companies, and mid-sized companies have become large companies. That has happened even before they imagined. It has, because the growth in industry, the growth in infrastructure investment over last 10 years was that high. Because of that, entire attention was on growing. And when it came to a point where I am having a business, but how I will, at that scaled up level, how I can sustain my profitability, how I can sustain my, my deliveries, that question started coming into their minds very heavily, because when they grew to that stage, the processes had not matured to that stage. And that was the driver when they started looking at technology, that I need to mature my processes in order to make my business more sustainable and scalable. And that is where they said, if it has helped other industries to do the same thing, now it should help my industry as well. That was one of the driver why they started looking at technology. In terms of real estate industry looked at it slightly differently. They looked at it in terms of understanding the customer behavior, consumer behavior much better. Because if they are able to service the customer better, that is their differentiator in the competitive market around. So they looked at how others have used, other industries, say banking, they have used use technology to service the customer better. Can I also do it? And that was the trigger to start the technology in
But
tech.
construction by its very nature is very high-end engineering. I know factories are now entirely driven by technology, and you can remote look at how the processes are working. Does that work in construction? At what levels does technology work there?
Oh, technology has penetrated from that engineering construction side. It has penetrated really, really well. Right from the conceptualization, I mean, right from the designing methodologies for executing a large construction project, say tunnel or say power plant or say flyover like ceiling, band ceiling. The design itself brings in a lot of technology. Lot of software is used to design them, because there you can optimize the usage of material, which is extremely crucial, cement and steel. You can really optimize it using technology. And then whatever you design, you can take that into production, and then you use that for production execution also. So it has gone into that level of actually designing for construction, manufacturing of construction. There are construction equipments which are now far more, I would say, IT savvy. Each one of them throw a lot of data about their utilization, about their productivity, and that is the data which is used by construction players to make their construction cost optimal. Equipment form a very substantial part of construction project management. If you can manage the equipment more optimally, you are able to control the timelines well and hence control the cost well. That is an area where technology has gone to service the industry. There is one more area where you can physically see what is happening at construction site. Let it be located anywhere across 2000 miles also from you, and let it be in Himalayas, mountains, or anywhere.
You can monitor your construction activity or your project,
progress,
actual project,
you can physically progress.
Then, a couple of things that Mr. Pense pointed out, which have actually helped the construction industry, is A, when there is growth, technology works because it helps you scale up. Second, it eventually brings down the cost. It also makes it more convenient to do business. When you advise companies or look at solutions for them, what's the general sense that you're getting? Which of these reasons are the reasons for companies to adapt and adopt technology?
I think, first thing they look, if it comes to the CIO level, he gets very excited with the latest and the best. But when it comes to the CEO, he's eventually evaluating what are the benefits in terms of either increase in revenue or reduction in cost. And if he does not see any of these benefits, it just doesn't fly from there. So those are something which have to be clearly articulated, whether it's CEO of a very small company or a large company. Unless technology makes a difference to the business, it's of no use. And CEO sees it in very plain fashion in this sense. It could be a short-term benefit, a medium-term or long-term benefit. Technology for the sake of for the sake of using technology just because it's the latest and the best, those days are clearly over. And no CIO can take that pitch, no CEO will bite it now. He wants to see it clearly on the table what's pervasiveness, as he called it, everywhere, it's all over the place. It is just going to increase. And that's something which CEOs will also adapt to.
We'll head into a short break. We'll come back and talk about the new areas that one should be looking at, cloud computing, and does that really make the adapting to technology far easier for companies that haven't gone down that path? Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching our special series, the CXO series. Technology is changing very fast, and the biggest dilemma for a CEO is how fast he should change with the times and how fast he should buy new technology and upgrade the systems. Right now, everybody's talking about cloud. Is that a game changer of sorts to your mind?
Well, I hope so. There is a lot of hype around cloud, but I think it's something which I also personally feel will be a game changer. Cloud is not a new concept. We always had, let's say, mainframes in the past or outsourced IT or hardware and software. But cloud has now actually encapsulated all of that into something more meaningful to a business person. Now, when I say meaningful, the business person also has to understand how it makes sense to him. Cloud can be a game changer, and I think in India it will be a game changer. There are now solutions available where a small guy or large guy can go on the cloud. He can make his own website very quickly, at the cost coming down. Very value conscious market which India is, and rightly so. I think cloud will make a difference.
This show is about what's on a CEO's mind when you talk about technology. At different levels, there are different things on his mind. Right now, in the short term, it might be a slowdown and whether they're going to put money in on technology or not. In the slightly longer term, if you were to look at that big mass of Indian companies, the SMEs and the CEOs over there, the big concern is on the basics. I mean, they've still not taken that leap of faith, have they, Mr. Pense, when it comes to things like security issues, whether there will be a conversion, whether their people will be trained enough for using technology? Are the problems a little more basic in India?
Very true, because we are, in terms of our own IT usage, while we have shown the path to the world in terms of providing IT services, our own IT usage lags in terms of real applicability. And that too in SME segment it is even further behind. So those issues, they are today grappling with basic issues. One of the issues, I mean, today at least in infrastructure industry, what I saw is the issue of security is second, but primary issue is whether my people will be able to use it. Because adapting to technology needs you to start working differently. It's the transformation which is the major challenge, and that people transformation is one of the toughest part, because people have worked in certain ways for last 25 years. Asking them to change their way of working, asking them to be dependent more on computer figures rather than going on a project and get a feel of it, is a big massive mindset change which is looming large on CEOs' minds. That is followed by cost, and that is followed by security. That's, I would say, these are the priorities of issues in terms of technology in the minds of CEO.
11 years, a phenomenal growth of an economy, the market and for everyone exploding, so to say, and yet there is no conversion. Where have we gone wrong?
Well, if it's, you're riding a nice, you have a good joyride, you can assume it's going to go on forever, then why invest in technology? That's one way of looking at it. Other way of looking at it is, yes, if I'm growing at, let's say, 40%, if I invest in technology, I can grow at 60%. I think there are a lot of people still in the first bracket where they feel, oh, it's everything's going well, why do I need to invest in technology?
So in a slowdown, are you seeing the trend where people are investing more in technology, or are they running away from technology?
Generally, tendency is to wait and watch, but some smarter people, they tend to take advantage of it. As when there is a slowdown, then slowdown is faced by IT industry. So now there are more companies chasing less people, less customers, and hence customer is the king. And there are some smart people who tend to take advantage of it to expect better bargains and better terms and better attention for them. So there are a lot of cases I have seen people having.
And how does that happen?
Well, I hope it continues for, as consumer of technology, I hope it continues for long. But yes, I think deals can be good in such situation. It's a mixed bag. I think some people will say, let's just hold on, why commit to spends in a slowdown. Some people, who are kind of forward looking, as Satish mentioned, would go in for technology.
But at the end of the day, I like what Mr. Pense was saying earlier, that you need success stories in any sector or any vertical to propel companies to start looking at technology. Because if you want to scale up beyond the point, these are certain things that you need to invest in. Would you agree with that, Nihal?
100%. So I think you require someone to evangelize, someone to say, you know what, I have done it. You require a Sachin Tendulkar of SMEs to say that, I am 9900s, I'll score the next 100 by technology. And then others will follow. Unfortunately, we haven't seen any of the success stories. I'm sure there are many of them, but they haven't, surfaced.
So Pense, Ninad asked you about how we compare with the West in a segment like construction. How would we compare even with the developing countries? If you were to look at countries which saw a boom in construction, the Asian tigers, so to say, they saw a boom in construction. If you were to compare with them, where are we?
I think we are at par. With the West, we are lagging behind, but with the East, we are at par in terms of technology usage. Which is the state is that we all are aware. We all are aware that it needs to be done. Some people have started. Some people are waiting to start. So that's if you take China, if you take Malaysia, if you take Philippines, if you take Thailand, technology adoption in infrastructure industry is more or less the same. I'm not seeing that much of difference.
But is it fair to conclude that adoption of technology, the first level, is still the biggest challenge in India?
Yes, it is. I think
for a large grouping of Indian companies.
Yes, I think that is the biggest challenge. And adoption is a very broad word. It includes a lot of sub-items in that. But I would, yes, agree with you, it is.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, maybe we should have more forums like this to talk about technology and what it can do. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.